I thought I'd be locked in on the road to WrestleMania. Not as locked as I thought I'd be. Yeah, I saw the Rumble, but I've been locked in week to week, man. I know what it is.
Well, okay, so because I like to follow all these numbers and all this stuff.
Of course.
Um, so you're not the only one.
Really?
Well, let me put it like this. Okay, this isn't like I wouldn't call this a fall back year or a decline, but this is so far. This is definitely kind of a flattening out year. I think we're kind of a plateau kind of year.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, looking at things like viewing numbers and ratings and things like that. Um, well, for one, okay, so last year was a they had a basically a once in a lifetime year in terms of
Yeah,
not
with
just
the Rock and of course Cody and
yeah,
Cody Roman build and
and
all that. Yeah.
so no matter this year was going to be a bit of a basic come back to earth kind of thing because like last year was just so ridiculous, so far off the charts, with everything, and because like I said, we had the Rock was there for all of WrestleMania season because remember he first came back last year. It was like on January 1st.
Yep.
He was involved all the way through, and then you also had the culmination of the whole finish the story thing with Cody. Um, so you had those two things going on, and just it sent everything through the roof as far as buzz and hype and excitement. Um, and in fact, and then of course the Rock wrestled again. You
Yeah.
know, can't forget about that. And so they hit. I mean, basically that was their Chicago Bulls 72-10 season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what last year was.
I would argue that the lead up definitely to WrestleMania last year was probably, I would say that was probably the most intense, like 2 months. Like I'm not gonna compare it to like Andre Hogan and Savage Hogan and all the greats in the past year, because what I'm saying is that the lead up last year was more so, it was not just the internal WWE stuff, but because The Rock is so big as a star outside of wrestling, it got outside the halls of WWE entertainment, and the hype was outside the bubble of the fandom, if you will.
Yeah, and honestly, they were on like basically like a 3-year roll,
Yeah,
like because WrestleMania 38 was huge,
yeah,
and people look. I know people in the IWC they hate Brock Lesnar and they hate Ronda Rousey, but both of those matchups that they were involved in did like super huge numbers all the way through.
yeah.
Um, and then the next year there was just WrestleMania Hollywood, and that's when Cody came back from the injury,
Hmm.
and it's Cody and Roman for the first time, and then you had all the culmination of the bloodline stuff with Sammy and Kevin and the Usos and all of that, and that was huge. And then
Of
last
course.
year was, and then so basically, yeah, I mean, and last year was the 72-10 Bulls season,
Yep.
or that's what last year was. And so, and again, we're talking about a 3-year, a ridiculous, incredible 3-year run of WrestleMania seasons that
And
did.
the thing is too, also The Rock is involved somewhat so far. We had the John Cena, lead up his last run here before he retires. So you figure it'd be a little bit more hype. And look, I'm not saying that the build isn't good, because I've been watching day week to week for just for personal reasons. But you're telling me now that what I'm saying is not is being echoed by many, not just myself. So I mean, is the build a little less, you know,
Um, I mean,
exciting? I
well,
guess.
I think, yeah, I mean, like the Netflix debut was really big, and that
Yeah.
that did really well, and that
Right.
did huge. Um, but like after that, because now, well, remember now, and Roman hasn't been on TV since then.
Right.
That matters, and it's
Outside of
just,
Rumble, obviously. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, well, Roman hasn't been on TV since the Netflix debut.
Outside of Rumble, of course.
Yeah, outside of being at the Rumble, and it's
Right.
so him just not being there takes something away. Cena has not been on TV, like for all the the talk about the farewell tour and all that. he hasn't been on TV.
Yeah.
He was at the Rumble, and he'll be at the Elimination Chamber. So he's not there to hype, to talk or to hype any of this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
And some of this other stuff, it's just the way the women, the women's division, the way that gets booked. They keep the biggest name people away from each other. That's been kind of one of, I don't know why Hunter chooses to do that, but
Right. I,
um,
I I do think though some of this could be strategic because like WrestleMania this year is actually going to be further away now. It's now mid-April, actually mid to close to end April if you think about it. April, if I'm not mistaken, April 19th and 20th. I think it is the 2 dates. So this is actually the latest WrestleMania we've ever had in the 41 they've ever done. We've done.
yeah,
And I feel like what they're probably doing is saving all the ammo for this week. So I think the Elimination Chamber. We're going to get to the match in a second. What the possibilities can be going forward is pretty big, actually. What could happen if they play the cards right here? I think maybe, and this is me, maybe being so confident what WWE's booking has been for years and coming through in the end. I think from this week on, I think you'll see the massive build really pick up after they figure out who's going to be facing who, for the titles at Mania and whatnot. Because what they have set up here for the chamber, I mean, just on name value alone, this is something going to be the greatest chambers already ever. It's on name
yeah.
value.
Now, I feel confident that they'll do that on the men's side, but again, like the way that the way they book a lot of women's stuff just they take all the air out of the balloon.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to
And
that
that
now. Yep.
okay,
We'll get to that right now.
okay,
The Elimination Chamber, in Toronto, Rogers Center, this Saturday, Peacock. So bring up the file here. I'm sorry about that. There it is, right there. Here we go. Here we go. Right there. If it comes up, it's a little time here. A little time. Here we go. Look at John Cena. Look at that. Boom. Headliner. All right. So
yeah,
we have 4 matches ready to go. So we'll get to 2 chambers of matches in a second. First match, unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now obviously Kevin Owens is a heel. Sami Zayn the face. I didn't realize. So like again, the last thing I saw was a Rumble, and I know Sammy came out to kind of like not help Kevin Owens, but he was checking him out when he got during that match against Roman, again against Cody, sorry, and when he got really banged up in that match. And but I didn't know. I didn't know these two were on enemies again.
okay. So yeah, so basically, well, we know Kevin's been kind of on the warpath, and so a few weeks before the Rumble, he and Sammy were in the ring, had like a promo thing in the ring together,
Yeah,
and because they haven't really interacted since Kevin went bad. And Kevin was just like, well, look, know, we've always been in this together, and so
yeah,
look, you help me out, and I can help you out. Yeah, I'll help you out. And then so Sammy came out to check on him after after he lost the match, and he was, in such bad shape. But Sammy didn't help him win, right? So Kevin took that as an insult, basically. And Kevin's whole MO this past couple of months has been that he's been pissed off that all of these people were teaming up with Roman after they've been fighting him for all this time.
right.
So that's why he went after Randy. That's why he went after Cody.
And now Sammy.
Yeah. So that's kind of, yeah. I mean, and so he laid out Sammy, and then Sammy just basically one week he said, okay, well, guess we're doing this again. So that's what we're going to do. Because they've teamed up and they fought each other a million times. So he said, okay, well, we got to do this again. We're going to do it again. And yeah, and here we are. So,
Well, historically, these guys put on great matches. So I
oh
mean,
yeah, yeah,
it should be a banger as always, a banger.
yeah, and it's just the question is how far are they going to go? Because
Right, unsanctioned, of course. Right.
yeah, so because their big climactic battle from Ring of Honor is on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It was back when there was Kevin Steen and El Generico, and
Yeah.
they had a ladder war at Final Battle, and that, I mean, I don't think they're going to go that far, but they did some absolutely insane stuff in that match, and so I expect them to ramp things up pretty heavy here.
Any prediction there?
I think Kevin wins because,
Interesting.
well, I think he wins because Randy Orton has not come back yet, and Kevin took him out, and I think this leads to Kevin and Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
So you don't think we're gonna get the you don't think we're gonna get Cena and Randy? Okay.
Well, maybe later on this year, but I don't think it's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen at WrestleMania.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll say this for argument's sake. I'll say Kevin Owens. Argument's sake, he's probably the hot hand of the two guys right now, booking wise. But yeah, why not? Give it a KO. All right. We also got a tag team match between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. How did we get here with Tiffany and Trish? I saw a picture of them
Okay.
on Instagram 2 days ago. I'm like, ooh, nice. But I didn't realize they were tag team partners.
Okay, so actually, this started I went to SmackDown in DC.
You did? Okay.
So they had one of the matches was a rematch for the women's title between Tiffany and Nia Jax, and before, like earlier in the show, Trish was in the front row when they talked to her, and of course that's always you always know that means something's going to happen later, right?
Of course.
And so Tiffany was about to win, and then Candice LeRae came in there, and her and Nia Jax started jumping Tiffany, and then Trish came in there, and then but Candice and Nia Jax like beat both of them up basically.
Yeah.
And then Trish got help to the back, and Tiffany was still laying in the ring, and that's when Charlotte came out and just sat down in front of her and said, "Okay, it's me and you at WrestleMania." While Tiffany was laying there beat up. So and then later on in the back, Trish came up to her and said, "Well, why don't me and you team up?" And basically, they're in Toronto. Trish wanted to wrestle, so they came up with some type of angle, basically. And so I think this is pretty cut and dried. It's Trish's hometown. They're going. This is an easy one. You tee up for the baby faces to win. And
any shot they've split up, Trish and Tiffany's any teases of a breakup or
no? Well, it's only been a couple of weeks.
Right.
I think this was just to do this match, and then that's it. And then Candice LeRae is in there to basically take the pin.
Of course, yeah.
And so I think it's just they'll do that, and they'll get a nice little hometown pop for Trish, and all of that.
Of course.
I think it's pretty. Yeah, I think this is pretty simple, pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, same with you. All right, okay, all right. Here we go. First Elimination Chamber match for the Women's World Championship match at WrestleMania 41. You got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. Nice roster of girls here to decide who will be facing. So Charlotte did pick who? She did pick
Tiffany. She picked Tiffany.
Okay. So obviously the winner places Rhea, obviously.
Yeah.
So who has a story here really that's most interesting that can face Rhea, honestly, here. I mean, again, I've been in and out the last year or so. Obviously Bianca's cooled off a lot in the last year as a solo star. Liv Morgan has been pretty good up until recently against Rhea. Bayley's still solid. Naomi's back. Alexis came back last month at Rumble. This is wide open in my opinion. I like Bianca would be the easy one here for me, but then you really want two faces meeting at Mania?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. So, all right, Bianca's the obvious pick because that's the biggest match to make out of all the people in there.
Right.
The only problem is with that, like, again, this would be another indictment of how they booked the women's division because that's a big match where you should have a much longer term storyline or angle or whatever to set up that match.
Yeah.
To just do that out of the Elimination Chamber is, I mean, I think that does a disservice to what that match could be. But Bianca's the obvious pick out of all. I mean, if you're going to pick somebody to put in a WrestleMania match, out of those 6 women in that match, she'd be the first person you would take. And so they very well might just do that. But if not, then Okay, I think Liv is definitely not because her and Rhea feuded for like 6 months. They're not going back to that.
Yeah.
Um, Roxanne is too new. They're not. I mean, she had a great showing in the Rumble, but
Yeah.
nobody would believe her having a chance against Rhea Ripley. And,
Right.
So you won't do that there. Naomi, look, I love Naomi, but she never wins these things, so she's not going.
Well, and she don't win it because she's not because she's not good enough. It's because they don't book her right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, just we know she's not going to win. They don't ever.
I'll stand 10 toes on that for forever.
Yeah. So we know they don't book her to win these things, and they're not going to start now. So that's 3 you can eliminate right there.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with, again, Bianca's the obvious pick, except for the fact that you've got this unresolved thing with Jade, and then it's just, if you're looking just in terms of like logic and storytelling, the logical thing would be for her to get eliminated some kind of way,
Yeah.
because of that. And then
Of course.
also, Raquel Rodriguez, is Liv's partner, and Raquel could break in the chamber and take her out or something, right? So they're just there are storyline angles to take Bianca out of the match.
Yeah. Which they probably should. I love Bianca. It's my favorite, but I don't want her to. Rhea's red hot right now, and I feel like Rhea would take a lot of the love for Bianca by being in the same ring right now. I think right now Rhea is definitely at a higher crescendo than Bianca's right now. I don't want Bianca to suffer as a result. I mean, the only way you make that work is if Bianca turns heel, and I don't think it's gonna happen at this point now. I think we're at that point where like Bianca's John Cena, and she's not ever going to turn heel. So
yeah, I know. Like, man, I know a bunch of people have been trying to make to manifest that.
Oh yeah, I was one of those guys like 2 years ago, and I gave up on it. I gave up.
I mean, well, because
I mean, she's done it before. I thought she's okay as a heel back in NXT, but it was very short lived.
and I mean, I don't know. I wasn't high on it like some people were. Just
Right.
to me, it was black woman with attitude.
She's definitely better. She's definitely better face than she's a heel. I think I come to terms with that now going forward. Look, to be honest, I don't think any of these girls make any sense. Honestly, you don't want to live again against Rhea. We just did that for the last 6 months. Bianca obviously don't want to do it. You can turn Alexa heel probably at some point.
Well,
Make
she's
that happen.
another one. They don't want to boo her. People don't know.
Not right now. It's too fresh. She's back.
Well, people they don't want to boo her anyway, man.
Yeah.
Bailey.
Bailey's has been a heel over a year, maybe 2 years, and granted, she was a phenomenal heel, but is there thirst for Bailey to be heel again? I don't know.
No, I don't think. Well, I think. See, I mean, I've been leaning towards Bailey winning this because I think honestly, they're just serving somebody up for Rhea this year.
Yeah. I feel like no matter who she faces, it doesn't matter. Rhea is gonna win no matter what. Bianca could be the only person that makes sense that could give her a challenge, but then you risk Bianca getting hurt by that. So
and then also again for me, doing because we got 7 weeks between Chamber and WrestleMania.
Yeah, got a lot of time.
And with Bianca, but just the past couple of years, again they've barely had the women interact
right
going into WrestleMania, and then if Bianca does win, then she's still got some business with that whole Jade storyline. So that's going to eat up a few weeks.
Yep.
And it's just for as big as a matchup as that is, you need a bet. You need a longer build, a more dedicated build than just what's going to be 3 or 4 weeks going into WrestleMania.
Unless you're doing a triple threat matchup, which I don't want to see happen. I mean, Mania, I don't want to see that. I'm sorry. I'm not a triple threat fan, so I don't want to see that crap.
I mean,
so
for me, if the 3 people all have, if the 3 people all have established, beef with each other, sure. But if it's just like 2 people that have a beef, and then one person and the third person is there just to take the pin, then no, that kind of sucks.
I'm gonna pick Bailey. I'm picking Bailey. I think that's the most.
I think. Well, I'm still leaning. Yeah, I'm leaning that way because, again, I think they're just going to feed somebody to Rhea this year, and even if Bianca did win, she's gonna lose to Rhea at WrestleMania,
And I don't want that.
and well, I don't want it to be in if it. I mean, if it's not in such obvious circumstances, like Rhea is win because I think Hunter had every intention of giving her like a 2-year title reign at least.
Oh,
Because
Rhea
she had gone.
or
Oh yeah,
Bianca?
I think Rhea. Yes, Rhea. Rhea is his Roman Reigns.
Yep.
He very much wanted to give her like a super long title reign and have her beat everybody. And I think he very much wants her to be the biggest woman wrestler star of all time.
She's red hot right now still. So don't
Yeah, and
jump the
it's
gas
just
now while you can.
yeah, and she just won the title back. So
Yeah.
so I think, man, yeah, having her wrestle Bianca was just going to be a feeder match, basically. It would, man, that would suck.
Although
I
I could
mean,
say a Bianca Rhea match would be phenomenal. There's no doubt that those two in the ring would be phenomenal. And I think you can sell it to where Rhea still wins that, but it looks clean to the point where like Bianca looks strong in a
oh,
loss,
sure,
tells a
sure.
story, or you have Jade get involved and and screw it up for her, maybe. I mean things of that nature. But I think
Yeah,
ultimately Bailey's. I'll be honest with you. I think this match, while I'm not looking forward to the match itself, I think it's the story and the potential here. It's so open ended. I think the because we don't know what direction to go in. I think this is definitely pretty compelling, actually.
yeah. Well, I just feel like Rhea and Bianca is a match that should main event one of the two nights. And
Right, right,
if they do it this year, it's not going to.
right,
And especially if you're gonna and if you're gonna have if you are gonna have a finish where Jade gets involved or whatever and take then you're definitely not gonna have that be a in one of the two nights with that. And that's just and again that's another thing with the way that with the way they book the women's division is that
right, right,
they don't they're not giving any of these matches. First, I mean, these matches are not getting stories or they're not getting builds that are worthy of the matchups. Like, 'cause look, last year you had Rhea and Becky, and they barely interacted going into WrestleMania, and then they opened night one, right? I
right,
mean, um, and that matchup deserved better than that. The year before that, Rhea and Charlotte that was a match that should have been the main event also.
right,
So, and it's just they're taking this is a criticism of Triple H's booking is that he takes a lot of the steam out of these women's matchups by just I mean, there's very lackluster build for these matchups that he does, and he takes a lot of the steam out of it, and to
yeah,
where they're not where there isn't enough juice going in, for it to be a main event.
right. Agreed.
Now,
Uh,
um, so now anyway, getting back to the chamber match, I think Bianca's the obvious pick. Wouldn't be. You should not if she wins. You should absolutely not be surprised one bit if she wins.
mhm.
Um, but if it's not her, then I think it'll be Bailey.
All right. I'm gonna be able to hear this because. All right, and finally the men's chamber match for a chance to face Cody Rhodes, since
Yeah.
Gunther and Jey Uso are confirmed for WrestleMania. We got John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth freaking Rollins. So no Roman, huh?
I think he's going to get involved.
Okay, okay,
I think he is going to between Seth and Punk, he's going to take out one or both of them. I think. So I think he will be involved.
there's like 3 or 4 stories alone out of this whole event here that can be established by WrestleMania. Definitely storylines with Cena situation. You got Punk and Drew history there. Logan Paul's always sneaking around there. Seth Rollins has issues with Punk, and oh my god, and Roman gets involved also too. On top of that, there's a lot of things there's a lot of ways this thing can go in the men's chamber here. I think I think right now this is easily for me anyway, and I could be wrong about this, but maybe a little bit Reese's bias here a little bit. Easily the most compelling men's chamber I think I've seen maybe ever.
I mean, just in terms of the lineup, I
Yeah,
think this is like because usually they put a couple of people in there who are like, okay, they're just in there to,
yeah.
you
To take bumps.
yeah. But I mean, this year, even the people like, not, I think Damian Priest is not winning this, obviously, but
Right.
he's not going out quietly, you know.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do some damage while he's in there.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
um,
It's former champion, buddy.
yeah, yeah. So I think now he's butt head a little bit the past few weeks with Solo and Jacob. So they could we could see them get involved some type of way, take him out of it. I think Seth and Punk, some kind of way between them and Roman, they're going to all cancel each other out.
Right. I think Drew's the biggest wild card of all here.
Yeah. But I think Cena wins this, and
So you think Cena? You think Cena wins this for real?
well, because he's got to
Cena
win.
and Cody, huh? Cena and Cody.
Yeah, because I think he's
Wow.
got to. I think he's got to win something. He's got to win some matches along the way here, and I think. I mean, this is farewell. So why not put him in the main event? Why not? I mean,
I think that's too obvious, though.
well, Hunter's
That's too
very obvious.
obvious.
Hunter is
Yeah,
very obvious.
I guess he is something great. He wants to tell a story more than anything else. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Something tells me CM Punk's win this thing. Something tells me CM Punk's win this thing. I don't know why. I just think CM Punk is. I don't know, man.
Um.
It's been a good run from this last year and some
Yeah.
odd months coming back. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been impressed.
So, I mean, again, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But I think it won't be Priest. I don't think it'll be Logan Paul because Logan Paul already wrestled Cody last year.
Yeah.
And I don't think it won't be Seth. And
Won't be Seth. I think it's between the three guys I'm looking at is Cena, Punk, and Drew. I think Drew's gonna win it, but Drew's a wild card.
yeah, I think so. I think it's going to come. I think it'll be either Cena or Punk.
Yeah.
But I think Cena's probably the betting favorite right now. I think.
Yeah. You're probably right about that. But I'll go for the sake of argument. I'll go Punk just to be different here a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's this year's Elimination Chamber. This is gonna be really. I think it's gonna be a really good event. And I think this is where the hype will start for WrestleMania, especially now with like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, Mania being further back now, 2 more weeks behind. Or forward rather. Middle. It's supposed to be in late March, early April. Now it's gonna be in the middle, closer to late April. I have to get used to that. As someone who's been watching wrestling since 1987, I'm used to WrestleMania as being literally end of March, early April. So it's gonna be a little weird for me to embrace a post March Madness,
Yeah.
WrestleMania time. I don't know. It's weird, and that's I think also too, for me, what's gonna be really tough for me, especially personally, is that if I'm not mistaken, that is the weekend where the NBA playoffs start.
Oh man. Wow.
You fuck with me now, Triple H.
Yeah.
I'm an NBA diehard, bro.
Yeah.
So, so I'm gonna have the 2 TVs on, I guess, that night.
Yeah. So now one thing I hope. Well, now they're also going to have a segment with The Rock and Cody. Because did you see the thing from Friday?
I heard about it.
It was
Good
weird.
theater, right?
Yeah,
Was it weird?
Yeah,
And that's the other part. That's the other thing that we're talking about here is that The Rock could still get involved in this shit.
yeah, and so I think now it looks like he's definitely not wrestling this year.
You sure it's definitely? You sure about that?
Well, we'll see. I mean,
Let's putting all the apples into SummerSlam.
well, yeah, because SummerSlam is 2 nights this year.
Yeah,
So
and let Cena get his shine here. Send off. I think let Cena get a shine here at WrestleMania, and then shift The Rock's attention to elsewhere. Why blow your load in one event when Cena alone can get all the eyeballs? You know what I'm saying? I can see the argument for that as well. All right. I want to play. Go ahead. One last thing. Go ahead.
Oh, and also, I mean, look, Rock needs a lot of time to get in shape. So he's already blown his window to get in shape for WrestleMania. I think, unless he's been secretly training, but
he probably has. You never know. I mean, the guy looks like $1 million, obviously, even in his 50s.
Yeah.
So, all right.